The candles were already melting, not dripping slowly, melting fast like the afternoon heat had decided to lean in just a little harder right at the wrong time. The flames flickered unevenly, bending sideways every time a small gust of wind passed through the backyard. Okay, don't let them burn out, someone laughed. Liam stood there in front of the table, hands pressed together so tightly his knuckles had turned pale. His eyes were locked on the cake like it was the most important thing he'd ever seen in his life, which, right now, it probably was. 7 years old. That's all it takes for a moment like this to feel like everything. Make a wish, his mom said, smiling wider than she had in weeks. And there was a reason for that. This party wasn't just thrown together. It wasn't last-minute decorations or random balloons from a grocery store. No, this had been planned. Carefully. Quietly. Because the last time Liam asked for a birthday party, they had to say no. Not because they didn't want to, because they couldn't. Money had been tight that year. Bills stacked higher than expected. One bad month, turning into 3. And when your kid looks at you and asks, "Can I have a party this year?" And you have to hesitate. That hesitation stays with you. So this time, they didn't hesitate. They planned. Every dollar counted. Every detail mattered. The decorations weren't expensive, but they were thoughtful. Blue and yellow balloons tied along the fence. A small banner taped slightly crooked that read, "Happy Birthday, Liam," in bold letters. Paper plates with cartoon rockets on them, because Liam had gone through a space phase 3 months ago and never really left it. The cake? Homemade. His mom stayed up until 2 a.m. the night before trying to get the frosting right. It wasn't perfect, but to Liam, it was everything. "Okay, ready," his dad said, pulling out his phone to record. The other kids gathered closer, some of them already whispering about who was going to get the biggest slice. A couple of parents stood off to the side, holding drinks, talking quietly, but smiling as they watched. It was simple, it was small, but was real. And for a moment, everything felt normal. "All right, Liam," his mom said softly, brushing a strand of hair off his forehead. "Close your eyes." He did. Immediately. No hesitation. Because that's what kids do. They believe in moments like this without questioning them. "What are you going to wish for?" one of the kids teased. "I'm not telling." Liam shot back, eyes still shut, a grin spreading across his face. "Good," his dad laughed. "Don't tell anyone, or it won't come true." The music played low in the background. Something soft, something safe, just enough to fill the silence between voices. "Okay," his mom whispered. "Go ahead." Liam took a deep breath. You could actually see his chest rise, like he was trying to hold the moment inside for just 1 second longer before letting it go. And then, the music cut. Not faded. Not paused. Cut. Just like that. Silence dropped into the yard, so suddenly it felt heavy. At first, no one moved. No one reacted. Because it didn't make sense. Phones don't just shut off music like that. Speakers don't die mid-song. There's always a reason. A glitch. A mistake. Something. But this felt different. What happened?" one of the parents said, half laughing like it was just a minor interruption. Liam's eyes opened. Slowly. Confused. The candles were still burning. The moment was still there. But something had shifted. And then came the voice. "Turn that off." Sharp. Cold. Completely out of place. It didn't belong in a backyard. It didn't belong in a birthday party. It didn't belong anywhere near a kid holding a wish in his hands. Every head turned at once. And there she was, standing right at the edge of the yard like she had been there the whole time. Brenda. Red blazer. Clipboard pressed against her side like it was part of her. 2 guards behind her. Not rushing. Not aggressive. Just present. Like they didn't need to do anything to control the situation. Their presence alone was enough. Liam's dad lowered his phone slowly. "What's going on?" he asked, stepping forward, trying to keep his voice calm. Brenda didn't answer immediately. She took a step forward instead. Then another. Her eyes moved across the yard, scanning everything. The decorations, the kids, the table, the cake. Like she was inspecting it. Not seeing it. Inspecting it. "This gathering is in violation of HOA regulations," she said finally. "No greeting. No hesitation." Just that. The words landed heavy. Confusing. Out of place. and completely disconnected from a moment that had existed just seconds before. What? Liam's dad frowned. This event exceeds permitted noise levels and unauthorized occupancy limits for residential zones, she continued, flipping a page on her clipboard like she had practiced this line. It's a birthday party, he said. It's a violation. The kids didn't understand the words, but they understood the tone. And tone, that's what changes everything. The laughter was gone. The movement stopped. Even the wind felt quieter. Liam looked up at his mom. Why did you stop my song? That question, simple, innocent, and completely unaware of what was about to happen next. His mom forced a smile. It's okay, baby, she said softly. Just wait a second. But Brenda didn't wait. This party needs to end immediately. The candles were still burning. Liam hadn't made his wish yet. And somehow, without anyone realizing it, the moment was already gone. For a second, no one moved. It wasn't fear. It was confusion. The kind that hits when something so out of place happens that your brain takes a moment to catch up. A backyard birthday party being shut down? It didn't even sound real. Liam's dad let out a short breath, almost like he was resetting himself. You've got to be kidding me, he said, stepping forward, putting himself between Brenda and the table. It's a kid's birthday party. Brenda didn't blink, not even a flicker of hesitation. Noise levels are exceeding permitted limits for this time of day, she replied flatly, like she was reading off a script she'd already memorized. It's 3 p.m., someone muttered from the side. And this gathering has not been approved through HOA event authorization channels, she continued, ignoring the comment completely. The words didn't land the way she expected. Not here. Not in this yard. Because none of it made sense in the context of what everyone was looking at. Balloons tied to a fence. Kids holding juice boxes. A homemade cake with uneven frosting. This wasn't a gathering. This was a moment. You're seriously doing this right now? Liam's mom asked, stepping closer, her voice tight but controlled. There are kids here. That doesn't exempt you from compliance, Brenda said. Liam shifted slightly behind his dad, eyes moving between the adults like he was trying to understand a language he didn't speak yet. Am I in trouble? He asked quietly. Everything stopped again. Not physically, emotionally, because that question hit harder than anything Brenda had said so far. No, buddy, his dad said immediately, turning slightly toward him. You didn't do anything wrong. Then why is she mad? Liam asked. No one answered that, because there wasn't a good answer. Brenda stepped forward again, closing the distance between herself and the table. This party needs to end. Immediately. No, his dad said. Not loud, not aggressive, but firm enough that it cut through everything else. It wasn't defiance for the sake of it. It was instinct. The kind that kicks in when something crosses a line you didn't even know existed until that exact moment. Brenda's expression didn't change, but something in her posture did. Subtle. A shift. And then the guards moved. Not rushing. Not grabbing. Just stepping forward into clearer positions. One slightly to her left. One to her right. Blocking angles. Controlling space. And suddenly, the backyard felt smaller. The kids noticed it too. They didn't understand what was happening, but they felt it. The shift in energy. The tension in voices. The way adults stopped smiling. One of the younger kids grabbed onto his mom's leg. Are we in trouble? He whispered. No, she said quickly, but even her voice didn't sound convincing anymore. Liam's mom looked back at Brenda, her patience cracking just slightly. You're not shutting this down, she said. Not like this. Brenda didn't raise her voice, didn't step back, didn't escalate in the way most people would. She just stayed exactly where she was. Controlled, calculated. If you refuse to comply, she said, this will escalate further. Escalate? Liam's dad repeated, a sharp edge creeping into his voice now. What does that even mean? You gonna fine a 7-year-old for having a birthday? A couple of neighbors had started to gather near the fence line now. Not close enough to interfere, but close enough to watch. Phones slowly coming out, because even from a distance, this didn't look right. Brenda flipped another page on her clipboard. You've already been issued prior warnings, she said. This is not the first violation. What warnings? His mom snapped. We never got anything about this. Failure to acknowledge notices does not invalidate them. That line, that tone, it didn't just frustrate people. It triggered something, because now it wasn't about the party anymore. It was about power and how casually she was using it. Liam looked down at the cake again. The candles were still burning. Shorter now, melting faster. The moment slipping further away with every second. "Can I still make my wish?" he asked softly. His mom looked at him, and for a split second, her composure cracked completely. Yeah, of course you can," she said quickly. But Brenda spoke over her. "No, the event is over." And just like that, whatever was left of that moment was gone.